want us to do some things that are going to challenge a little bit of the normal way. We sit with the legs bent at about a 90 degree, and that's very limiting. That's not what the leg can do. It can go further than that. It might be our maximum, but I want us to find our balance, and I want us to challenge that. So what we're going to do is we're going to station our weight to one side. And when I do this, when I take my weight, I'm going to go to the left and pull my left hip underneath me. I pull enough that my knee is over that ankle, so it's easy for me to lift this leg up and not lose my balance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to maintain this length of my spine and bring the right knee upward an amount that I can without my back changing. But then I'm going to go for a little more action and bring my knee and my shoulder together, so I deliberately round the back. And then I come back down. Now, it takes a lot of effort to make that where you're balanced completely. And so if you want to touch a wall or touch a chair or something like that, you certainly can. And then we're going to do the other side. So here I'm going to shift my weight to the right side. Nose is going to climb over that ankle. I'll show you from the front view. And then I keep the spine nice and long as I lift the knee upward to whatever height I can without my back changing. And then I bring the knee and the shoulder, I'm going to lose my balance. I bring the knee and the shoulder together and we make the crunch. And then coming out of that. So we're going to switch side to side a little bit. So first we're getting hip flexion, and then we're getting core, the abdominal core engagement. So shifting to the left, the right knee's brought up, and I'm just trying to say, okay, how high can I lift this that my back doesn't change? And then past that point, I'm going to actually bring in every part of the flexion ability in my body. And now I'm shifting to the right side, and I'm bringing the leg up and saying, how much can I come until, there's a gap here when my back is neutral, and when I make my back not neutral, I make the crunch, well, that gap decreases. Okay, so if I'm crunching, I'm rounding my spine, which in a standing position is perfectly fine, but we don't want to be walking around like this. We don't want to adapt to this body posture. We want to adapt to a posture that has a low back curve toward the navel, especially when we're sitting down. So we just did a standing knee to the chest. Let's do a seated knee toward the chest. Now, here's the thing. The rules are, if I'm sitting, I don't want to round my back. I don't want the front of my body collapse. I want to arch my spines because there's more pressure coming down on our back when we sit. But we can safely do these actions, especially if we transfer some of the chest weight back onto the arms. Now here again, I do not want to cause my back to lose its current shape. I'm sitting not on my tailbone, but on my sitting bones. Lean back in an arch, and I'm going to take my left knee toward the chest, and it doesn't come very far. And I'm going to take my right knee toward the chest, and it doesn't come very far. And the reason it doesn't come very far is that there's already almost that same gap there was when I was standing. In order to get this knee to my shoulder, I'm going to have to crunch, and I don't want to do that right now. But we're going to lengthen again and bring the knee and bring the knee. Now, one way I like to do this, just so it makes me feel a little bit better, by the way, you can always come off the wrist anytime you need, is that I stretch my legs out a little further. And I lengthen, and then it's like there's more distance to travel, and it makes me feel better. It's like, oh yeah, okay. So, because if I hardly have anything, I don't have, it's like a small handle. I can't really get a good grip on it. Now, I'm not rolling onto my tailbone. I'm not shortening the front of my body. I'm just going back and forth, and boy, I tell you, my legs are like, can we stop? Sure. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to provide myself a little bit of help. So as I'm sitting here, and again, I'm on my sitting bones and staying off my tailbone, I'm going to hold my left leg. So I've got the left leg positioned that by grabbing underneath it and holding, it helps keep me in place. You can still lean back a little bit, and we are actually going to take our right hand back behind us to give us full comfort. And we're gonna take our right leg up, and we're gonna attempt to straighten the right leg, and it's like, oh, somebody just hit me in the thigh, right? Okay, I'll do this on the other side. So I'm going to hold the right leg in close. I'm going to put my left hand back behind me. I'm going to elongate, and I'm going to bring the left knee in. I'm going to try and straighten it. It's like, man, slam right there into my quad because my body's not used to this. Okay, so I'm going to do the first side again. Left leg being held, right hand back behind me. Elongate. Look how I'm pushing my spine forward. Right leg comes in, and I straighten. Now, the second time, it wasn't as horrible as the first time. The body's like, okay, I guess this is what we're going to do. It was surprised the first time. Elongate, leg comes in, and oh my, there we go. I like doing things that are tough to do in threes. That reassures the body it was not a mistake. Pull it in, try and straighten. And by the third time, my body's like, yeah, okay, doesn't like it, but it doesn't have that, oh, shocked, surprised feel. And one more time, leg pulled in and stretching up there. And plus, you know, it's figuring out how to, hey, she won't notice if I barely straighten that leg. Okay, so we did that a few times. Now, this is prepping us for a pose in yoga known as boat pose. And it is a pose where the feet are lifted up, and, you know, in full pose, the legs would be straight and the body would be straight, and we'd just be balancing on these sitting bones. I want to make sure that the low back does not get troubled. So at any time you need to just relax and arch backward with the low back shifted, or if you start to get uncomfortable, just rock the knees a little side to side, or come out and just watch what's going on. Okay, so I worry that there might be a back condition I'm aware of out there. Next, we are going to go a little bit into a boat pose. So I'm going to connect, I'm going to create an action where I've got my left leg pulled inward. Okay, so I'm going to hold the left leg. I'm going to put my right hand back behind me. My left foot's off the floor, and I'm just going to bring the right leg up and then slightly straighten it, and then try and take the weight off my right hand. And yeah, there was a lot going on the thigh, but I didn't want to roll back on the tailbone. Okay, so here I'm going to start by holding the right leg. I've got the foot up off the floor. I'm just holding the leg in. Left hand is my nice little kickstand back there. And I pick the left leg up, and I just straighten a little bit, and I just take the weight off. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's going to be a little tough, and we're using a lot of our core and a lot of our leg actions. I'm going to do this again, holding the left leg, lifting it off the floor, right hand's back behind me as my kickstand. I bring the leg up, I let it go straight, and then I just take the weight away. Okay. And then one more time. Left hand's back behind me, the right foot's lifted up off the floor. I gotta make sure I stay on my sitting bones, and the left leg's up, and then the hand comes away. All right, so that's letting us know, okay, there's a position that we can get on that. We're not really on the tailbone. We're lifting up, and if your back is too troubled with this, come onto your back, rock side to side, it's okay. But if you're comfortable with it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the left leg in, hold it a bit, pull the right leg in, and hold it a bit, and I lock my hands. Now I'm gonna show you the front view of this so you can see what it is I'm doing. All right, so the hands are going to go into lock. Here's my left leg coming in. Here's my right leg coming in. And I've got my arms locked together, and that allows me to pull my chest. Show you the side view again. So if I'm in this, I'm pulling up my chest. I'm just sitting on my sitting bones. And here I can play. I can hold my hands underneath the legs, and I can do a little bit of a stretch of one, a little bit of a stretch of the other as we just remain. And the more common thing that would happen is that you would roll backwards out of this, and it's okay. It's okay. But now let's try just a little bit more. Let's try just a little bit more. Stretch those legs for a moment, bounce them out a little bit. I know it gets a little crimped right here, and we're going to take care of that. Stretch your spine a little, and don't proceed further if your back is unhappy. But what I'm going to do now, here's my left foot being down. I'm going to hold the front of it, but here's my right leg, and I'm going to reach to the inside, and either I'm going to grab the ankle or I'm going to grab the heel. And leaving my left foot down for now, I'm just going to stretch that leg out comfortably. I'll put that leg down, I'll do it on the other side. So I'm going to reach, and I'll either grab the ankle or I'll grab the heel, and I will stretch that leg. So I'm teaching my body, okay, so there's something going to happen. This time I'm going to try to grab this left foot's off the ground and grab this right leg. I know I can balance on my sitting bones, and I'm just going to see, can I stretch this leg out? Just balance there on my sitting bones. And then I'm going to try right foot's off the ground, reaching to the inside, and I'm just going to see, can I grab that? Okay, come out of that for a moment. So you can see this sort of step-by-step process. Come a little bit away, I rock a little bit, I make sure things are not troubled, and remember, it's a fun thing to watch if you don't want to do it yourself. One last thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my legs in comfortably close. I'm going to grab hold of the inside. I'm going to grab hold of the inside. I'm going to balance, and I'm going to stretch both legs upward. Now you can do this one at a time, just holding and stretching like that. There we go, or both coming upward. And how straight your legs get has a lot to do with what's previously been done for your hamstrings. Bounce those legs out, bounce those legs out. Separate the feet wide and twist to your right side. Now, we're going to open up the front of this left hip. I want you to gradually go the distance you want toward the right and lower your right elbow, pulling your body nice and long, and then stretching the left arm gently away or lowering the left shoulder. Here's the stretch for that left leg. We're just going to straighten the leg and just reach the ankle away from us. And we're just going to pull the chest forward, stretch the leg back in a pleasant way. Breathing deeply. So we take away the tension that might have developed as our body might not have been strong enough for all of those poses, those unusual things. We're going to bend the knee and we're going to walk our way back upright. So we do this immediate calming action. Legs open wide, we're going to go to the left. The legs fold in, and I make my way around toward the left. I'm going to lower the left elbow down and either reach the right arm forward or maybe lower the right arm down too. And we pull toward the fingers as we straighten the right leg, and we reach the ankle away and we pull the chest away, and we're making something pleasant. Just breathing deeply. And so some poses, like boat pose by their nature, are a challenge that requires the core to engage, requires our legs to work in a very particular way. And if we are lacking in what the challenge needs, we tend to compensate and create stress in the back. So we immediately take that stress away. Let's bend our knee, let's walk our way back up again. And so it's knowing how much to push ourselves. We want to create a push, right? We want to create a challenge. But how much? We've got to learn to meter it out just the right amount for ourselves so that we don't go too far. Okay,